My name is Luke Null. My memories are intense, vivid, and traumatic. Don't watch this.
I do not watch. That's funny. Bro, thank you, man. Agent stuff. All of the whites, all of the whites.
Whoa. That is just in all my life, I've never been so offended. Welcome to Callbacks.
Yo, stop playing with us, bro. We back. A lot of people told me we was not going to make it till today.
Who are these people?
Today. A lot of people.
They're out there.
Put a battery in my back. A lot of the haters.
Old ball coach was saying, hey, they didn't want you to record a podcast.
They didn't want you to record another podcast.
This is Sam Salem and my co-host, my muse, my hero. He makes my dreams come true. Deacon Danny Sellers.
Muse is crazy. You sound like Tetros from the Idol. Muses, calling me a muse. I've never had someone call me a muse before in the room by myself.
You're just chilling with one of the bros, and like they just like, hey, can we pause the game for a second? They set the PlayStation controller down. They're like, I just want to let you know that I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and you're my muse.
But like on some like real show. Hey, big bro, look, bro, you really inspire me, bro, on a lot of different levels, big dog. You really on some real shit, bro. You really feel like my muse, bro.
Hey, I can't even cap, bro.
Hey, yo, pause. Son. You really, bro, for real. You specifically, bro. You like my muse on some real, like just your vibe and everything, but. Keep doing your thing, King.
You know how Jack be paying Rose? Like that's you, but not in that way.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you know how we do.
All the listeners out there, you guys are our muse as well. Love you, callbacks, callers,
call babies, call babies,
call.
Yeah, what should their names be? I don't know.
Slide in my DMs and let me know.
Shout out to the call baby. Shout out to the hashtag Midwest Boys. If you're a Midwest boy, and that really means also girl too, let us know in the comments. Give us a hashtag Midwest Boys.
Midwest Boys is gender neutral.
Yeah,
it's a gender neutral. Like some like call her daddy and those sort of things.
Yeah.
Midwest Boys, gender
hashtag,
neutral.
Yeah, Midwest people. If you're really feeling froggy.
What a loose, silly start to the pod.
Don't call me loose, bro. I'm a grown man. I paid my rent today.
Like the other episode when I said loose mouthed and you
yeah, that was
you got up out of here.
I feel really disgusted.
How's the trademark Danny Sellers mental health check? We like to do we are not about toxic masculinity. We are about Danny's like, that's my bread and
brand.
butter.
Yeah, that's my brand, brother.
We're not about toxic masculinity. You know, I see a therapist weekly, Monday nights. Shout out Kevin.
Big Kev. Kev's a white man?
He is.
Nice.
He is probably late elder millennial, younger Gen X.
Ooh. You ever see him like in the store? Like, what's up, bro? Let's kick it.
I've thought about this before because as Lionel know, I used to be a teacher. Now I substitute teach. And like, that was my biggest fear. Like, walking around the grocery store and it's like I got like a box of condoms and like a bottle of wine and they're like
Mr. Sam's fucking
and they're like, hey, what? And then the mom just like looks down and is like, what is that? And I'm just like, I teach your kid birth control and alcohol now, lady. Like so but I was thinking about this. I'm like, imagine being a therapist. And
that's crazy.
Like because they're people too. So like all of a sudden you're just like at the club and you see your therapist throwing it back.
Yeah. 100%. Fine therapy. A lot of fine therapy, thick therapists.
Okay, look. That sounds like
you know what I mean.
That sounds like search history stuff going on over there. I was just saying, like, imagine
thick therapists surmises problems through
surmises.
I don't know.
Look at that Elon education, that private school surmises. Yeah. But yeah, like imagine being I would be mortified to see my therapist out in.
Yeah, I don't see a therapist, so if I
and it shows.
Shout out to all my toxic people, unfiltered, uncut people out here doing it for the content.
You know, there's a swear jar. If you listen to this podcast a lot, we're gonna start a
uncut,
unfiltered, uncut, raw. Anytime you say any three of those words, it's $1 in the.
I'm smacked off one of these camp beers. This is the widest thing, camp beer. I've never heard this before. We're smacked off these, dog.
Yeah, this is so.
Time to get real violent.
This beer we're drinking, it says 100% U.S. ingredients.
Yeah.
It has a tent and it says camp beer. It is so Republican coded.
Yeah, exactly right. Only made in America through American values.
We're in our Reagan Bush era.
Yeah, exactly
right now.
right. Don't say no to say no to drugs. Also is on here. There's a war on crime. Every can drinking is donated to the war on crime specifically.
I like trickle down economics, and I like when that beer trickle downs my throat.
Yeah. And this is the anti-Bud Light can. No, but shout out to beer.
Wow, 5 minutes in, and we are just
content.
We're just absolutely off the rails. Did you even give it? So we started this mental health check. That's how we got on this.
Yeah.
Trademark Danny Sellers mental health check.
All right, my mental health right now. I live by myself now. All right,
flex.
And
that's right. LA, no roommate. Off comedy. Off creativity.
I must say off creativity. Not just comedy pays for maybe my cell phone bit. But no, so I spend a lot of time by myself, and it kind of fucks with you sometimes, but I also enjoy my solitude a little bit.
Yeah.
And my mental health, I feel like, has been way better because I've been focusing on just being thankful for the moments I have with people. And I know I've talked about this before, I think, and like maybe it might have been coded in like dating or whatever, but just in general, whether it's family, friends, sexual partners, whatever, dating people, just being thankful for just the moments that we have and not overthinking it. So like for dating, for example, I feel like a lot of people complain about dating in LA and big cities, and there's no people out here. I can't find nobody, and it's miserable. And I was talking to my boy last week. We were at a wedding for my high school friends, and he was in a similar situation I've been in and separated and single again. And I just feel like a lot of us go into these first interactions, is this person my husband? Or is this person my, that sounds crazy for me to say that, but is this person my girlfriend or my wife? Whatever, off like one interaction versus let me just enjoy these 3 or 2 or 1 hours I have with this person and then see if it warrants another moment.
You gotta be in the moment. Can't be prisoner to the moment, but you gotta be in the moment.
And then even on some just friendship stuff, once again, we were at this wedding and I had not seen those guys in a year, but we've known each other since high school. And it was so nice to see, my boy's family, his younger brother, his older brother, his parents, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, man, how many more times am I going to see these people in my life?
Right.
Maybe once or twice more, maybe none. And as we get older now, we start to, if you're cognizant, you start to really remember, like, damn, bro, I might only have X amount of summers or X amount of times I'm going to interact with this person or X amount of interactions. So it's just, I think a lot of us, we just get so worried about this first interaction. What's next?
Right.
I like her. Ooh, she might be my fucking wife. This might be the one. It's like, dog, just focus on, does she make you happy right now on this walk?
Right.
Is she good to go to the game with? Is he good to go meet your mama for Thanksgiving? And that's all you should be worried about. Amen.
I feel like, and then let's get to our interview, baby. But I feel like I am thirsty when it comes to friendships.
This boy thirsty, isn't it?
Like when I'm gonna be honest, when I met Danny for the first time, I was like, I need to be best friends with that guy. I need him in my life, intimate moments.
That's crazy.
And especially with dudes, because I grew up with 3 sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
And so people are always like, oh, you grew up with sisters? Does that mean you're good at talking to girls? I'm like, no, it means I'm good at being passive aggressive to boys, actually. That's what that means.
That's funny.
And so anytime I meet a guy who's like relatively cool, I'm like, you're the big brother I never had. I love you.
Even though I'm 2 months.
Can we go camping?
I'm 2 months older than you. 2 days. I mean, not even 2 months. 2 weeks older than you.
Can I get your phone number? They're like, dog, I'm just at the bar. Like,
right.
Anyways.
It is hard to find older male, once you get older, homies that you really rock with.
Right. It is. All right. Our guest is here. So
hashtag Midwest Boy.
Let's get into it because we got a doozy for today.
Yeah. And we are back. We already did our intro, so we're back with our special Cincinnatian guest.
Yeah, let's get a proper intro like we like to do on the program.
Hit me.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Our guest today is an immensely talented comedian, improviser, and former cast member of Saturday Night Live. Before featuring on SNL, he cut his teeth in the Chicago comedy scene where he was part of the Newport Hound sketch team.
That's true.
Shout out my favorite character of his, Duke Pull. You can currently stream his album Guitar Comic and find him headlining comedy clubs and theaters throughout the country. I'm not afraid to say that we are absolutely bricked up
I'm afraid to say
Wow.
that.
to welcome to the pod today the brother of Ohio University's most beloved food science major,
It's true.
a man
My brother Jake.
who some have associated with the death of Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia,
People have come for me about that
That's
in
crazy.
Chicago. That got thrown my way a lot.
and
A
someone
lot of bathrooms. Luke Null killed Antonin Scalia. There's a lot of bathrooms that say that.
that's, I mean,
It's
he
not a joke.
look
Stall in the
into
store.
it. Look into it. And someone who was fired from their first job at Papa John's without realizing it. It's Caitlin Schultz's husband, Luke Null.
Yeah.
Right, shout out to Caitlin. Did not take my last name.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't care.
She hyphenated? No.
She hyphenated, I think, only on social media things, which is at the end of the day
That's all that matters.
about as legal as I
Yeah.
need.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who cares about actually legally changing it? If
Yeah.
they change their Instagram filter for you,
Exactly. That's almost better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Exactly.
Easier, less paperwork. You just
don't let the government trace you.
Yeah.
you hit save. You know.
Welcome to our libertarian podcast
Exactly.
on how to
Exactly.
avoid government
From our
overreach.
cold dead hand. Take this last name from my cold
Yeah,
dead
these
hand.
camp beers. We're drinking camp beers and thinking about America's independence.
Yeah. You
That's
guys,
absolutely
I just
amazing.
got back from Chicago and
Yeah.
I couldn't it was gonna be for the July,
Yeah.
right? And my
Yeah.
barber was gone the weekend and through Monday, Tuesday, 4th of July. So I was like, fuck, like I'll just go to where I used to go in Chicago.
Yeah. It's packed.
Mistake.
Jam packed.
She comes in. I sit down in Chicago before I have shows. And I'm like, I tell her what I have a picture. Say,
Uh-huh.
let's do it too. Tapered.
Yeah.
Natural.
Do you feel
She's-
confident when you show the picture?
No.
Cause yeah, I would just want to.
I'm describing what I want as well.
Yeah.
I had multiple pictures.
What? No, not. Do you feel confident in her? Do you feel confident in yourself showing a picture?
I think sometimes it helps.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think in general you're just like, hey, this is in the vibe I'm going for.
Yeah.
Right.
She right away. She's like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, 2 tapered sounds good.
Oh.
Immediately gives me a new hairline. I got a fucking white chalk like
That's
tan
crazy.
line where I'm not a no sideburns guy. I'm gonna keep the sideburns guy. And she's just like, those are gone. And then she like it became very clear. I was like, oh, she didn't cut white hair a lot.
Yeah. She gave you a boosty face. That's what black people
she
call a
gave
boosty face.
she retreated my hairline in a way that I'm like, how are you about to not ask at all? You're just about, she was just making executive decisions for me. And then I was like,
You gotta respect the confidence.
I in the moment I made me physically cringe because it was too late already. Just first
once you-
thing in, gone.
But then she shows the mirror and how's it look? And you're like, I love it.
Great. The back of my head looks good.
Yeah.
Back of my head looks so good.
I feel like there's too many barbers and therapists.
Probably.
Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of like, there's a lot of them. They can't all be good, bro.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
And I feel like there's a lot of stories of bad therapists, and a lot of stories of bad barbers.
totally.
But they need to be like a reoccurrence of like.
I think more
certification.
therapists should be barbers, to be honest. That's my take on the whole
Maybe.
situation.
My friend's she found her therapists on Yelp, on like reviewing restaurants on Yelp, and she's like,
Oh,
the guy's name was too weird, and
Yeah.
specific for it not to be him, and she's like, there's no way this isn't him. And so she like goes into his account and starts reading, and she's like, this guy like told me to journal. This guy like was giving me
yeah.
like advice on my life, and he's like the biggest piece of shit. Like I gotta what this is I have to read something. Like she sent me like screen grabs of some of the things her therapist
Right, the
was saying
therapist.
to people on Yelp, and it was like he was giving restaurants bad reviews because like the table next to him was too loud.
Just stuff that wasn't even in their control.
That had
too many.
nothing to do with the restaurant. He was just like one star.
We need
Your
less.
friend is like, my mental health rests in the palm of this man's hand, and he is out here just berating 18-year-old servers.
Truly.
For like, I said light ice. This is pretty heavy. This
Yeah.
is pretty heavy.
1 star,
That's
maybe.
hilarious. Great to have you on. I feel we got some connections here.
Hashtag Midwest Boys.
The Midwest boy, Lakota East High School. He would have went to Lakota West if his mom wouldn't have moved him last second. No trauma there.
Is that
I
real?
went to Freedom Elementary.
Okay, yeah.
Would have went to Ridge.
Shit.
In middle school.
Yes.
Hope well.
Stuff all our
Okay.
listeners
You were just
know
right
of.
on that
Yeah.
parallel track. West. Fun fact: when I was at West, Lil Wayne knocked up a girl who went to Lakota West.
What?
And when he was in town, knocked up a girl, went to the concert, who went to Lakota West. And so, like right
How old
away,
was Lil Wayne?
I mean,
I
what's fucked up is that didn't even enter into my mind. Even now, as an adult, telling you that, I'm just like, "There's Lil Wayne." Still.
It's
That's funny when you
07,
hear
it's fine.
when you hear things as a kid, you still look back at them with kid brain sometimes, where you're not like, "Oh, that was messed up." You're just like, "No, I'm gonna think of it the same way that I thought of it at 15." Anyway, continue.
I'm gonna hope that she was like a senior and was 18. But everyone knew that Lakota West had Lil Wayne's baby mama,
That's
and
tight.
so they won. Like the rivalry was over.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it was
that's,
just like,
at a high level, that's a tight.
That's like
Lil Wayne came inside and left it in. So they
that's
win.
crazy.
that could lead to like so much trauma for that kid and that girl, and you guys are like, "Damn, that's sick as hell!"
Literally.
Like, oh, that's so cool.
Lakota West.
I remembered bragging. I was like, yeah, my manager at Walgreens, because I was a photo guy at Walgreens for years. I was like, my manager at Walgreens is friends with Lil Wayne's baby mama.
not Lil Wayne. Just
No.
some lady that met Lil Wayne one time.
That's
Not
like,
even his girlfriend.
But in the Midwest, who are you meeting that's famous? It's like, oh, I know, like,
Exactly.
yeah, I know the restaurant manager where like the professional baseball team manager sometimes comes in, or it's like, yeah, this one celebrity stopped in. Shout out Lakotas, and we connection here, July 7th, baby, birthday boy.
Are you?
Yeah.
Happy birth.
Did I miss your birthday?
Yeah, I do want to say that I made a cute Instagram story post on the podcast.
I
IG.
totally missed that, bro.
And
That's crazy.
for Danny, I made him one, a couple, and then he did nothing in return for me. So
You didn't post about it though, for real.
Did you not? I got dogged by my wife for not posting that it was my birthday, but I genuinely don't care.
You know what's so funny? Because I was waiting for him, like, because I knew his birthday was coming. I'm like, bro, when are you gonna post about it so I can be reminded to post it?
yeah, no,
And you didn't post anything about it.
Damn, you're toxic. You didn't tell me that was your birthday, so how am I supposed to wish you happy
Now,
birthday?
here's the thing. How many people's birthdays, like gun to your head, how many other people's birthdays do you know? Like the exact day.
I'd say everybody in my immediate family, my
Sure.
3 best friends from back home,
Sure.
and then after that, it gets a little hazy.
See, I could probably count on one hand.
I got siblings, immediate, my mama's kid, not even my mama's kids, my mom, my daddy, and that's about it, really.
Well, now I know yours.
I got and see now I have
Exactly.
I have friends who I have the same birthday as. I know you'll be the third friend of mine who. Well, I'm gonna throw the F word out.
Buddy, yeah.
It's
bud.
I'm
us,
so desperate for male friends. It's unbelievable.
Ringo, Jim Gaffigan. Do you know are these new to you?
Redhead white guy.
Me and Jim were hanging out the other day, and we were like, "Hey, should we invite Luke Null to the July 7th boys?"
Oh, see now I'm realizing I phrased it in a way that I'm friends with Ringo and Jim Gaffigan, but no, those are just two famous people that have our birthday too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
what's up.
buddy,
Lisa
I used to
Leslie?
work with- Okay,
Oh, tall.
it's a good get.
Yeah, that's it. So we kind of starting. That's a good starting 5.
Damn.
My dad will take pictures in the Cincinnati Enquirer of the like
Birthday.
celebrity birthdays, and I
Uh-huh.
was listed in it. And he's like, "Just so you know, you're famous this year."
Oh,
I'm
really?
like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
promise you, I'm not.
I
but
d-
that's cool to be in.
I do
That's
want to
tight.
say you're the only on the Lakota East High School Wikipedia page. You're the only person listed under notable alumni.
Really?
So
everyone else has joined. Either the mafia or they're all been.
I'm just saying,
disappeared by
like,
now.
message to the haters.
Hey,
Shout out.
Lakota East. I mean, just to be
There's
the only
gotta be
one.
more.
Thunderbirds?
You're the only one listed though.
That's very funny. It was me adding it. Me editing
Edited
the
by
Wikipedia.
you. That's like when
funny.
indie bands like upload their lyrics on. It's like, what are the lyric sites? And it's like, this was that's,
No one-
the,
yeah.
that's the name of the lead man. So, all right, let's get into a. So we like to go deep dives with the dates. This is like you were a history minor.
Yeah, on
Shout out-
accident.
Shout out geographic information studies
We've all done
major.
things on accident.
Shout out.
Can I just actually real quick
That's my degree.
doing a little research for it. Your mom, incredible woman, overcome a lot of medical setbacks to say the least.
She needs to write a book. She
Really?
won't. She's not. That's not her game. I'm like, you should just your involvement in like the American medical system of how everything works. She's just everything that could go wrong in a human body. She's like
Wow.
against all the odds, man. Cancer, broke her fucking skull, her sternum from all the radiation.
They left something in her
rotted.
body.
Yeah, they left something in when they operated on her, but her literal ribs were. She's like, I just feel a lot of pain. I'm like, oh, it's because you had so much radiation from when you had breast cancer that your sternum rotted out, and so your ribs are now just kind of floating on the pad.
Loose ribs.
And so they had to like
tips.
bolt them back together, and they left something like a clamp that they shouldn't have. She was like, I've had a fever for a calendar year, and we're like, well, go to the doctor. Then she got her knee. She was a college volleyball player, destroyed her knees, so her knees had both knees replaced, both hips replaced. The knee got jacked up. They did it wrong, and so it had like a staph infection.
Oh
it's
my
just like
God.
her life. So it's just like it just never ends. It just never ends.
Shout
But
out
she's
Cindy.
still kicking.
Cindy Null.
Cindy Null, great gal,
Shout
love her
out.
to death.
Well, I just want to. So I'm watching this little interview with her, and talking about did you always know your son would make Saturday Night Live? And she's like, he's always like he had said that that's what he'd love to do. I knew he's very talented, like being a supportive mom, and something along the lines of like, and it came time for graduating high school and college, and he had this passion for comedy, but we're like, let's maybe do something a little more financially that makes sense. And he was always into like geography and cartography. I'm like, yeah, that's where the money's at, Mom.
Yeah,
Don't do comedy. Go do some
Mm-mm.
cartography. Let's make some
cartography.
map makers.
Mapping, yeah.
Which I know there's actually like more
There is
real
more
jobs
application than you think, but I
Yes.
know what you're saying. Really, I would like tell people what my degree was, and they're like, haven't all the maps kind of been made?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, they have.
But mine have a
but
better
not
vibe.
on the moon.
But now
Yeah,
we
exactly.
layer them over each other
Yeah.
for corporate Papa John's locations.
Nice.
We need a Papa. We're trying to put a new Papa John's with available plots of land and income brackets within this amount, so we can put that map on there. Pop, and you do it up. It's like,
Oh,
these are the spots. These are the spots you put. Papa
That's how you.
John's.
got you. That's
all
the
about-
vibe. Yeah,
all
okay.
about-
Or if
Papa
you're
John's.
CVS or Walgreens, you just go, "Where's there a new Walgreens?
Yeah.
Is there across the street? Would that be good? Can we agree
Yeah.
that across the street we should put why are they always a CVS and a Walgreens literally across?
I
the
know,
street from
but
each other?
yeah,
Oh,
exact
It's
same
a, it's,
shit.
it's a fight.
I used to teach economics, and there's a phrase for this, and I forgot it, so I shouldn't even brought it up. But that's the reason car dealerships are all
In the same
next to each other,
spot?
because you're minimizing if someone's buying a car.
Decision easier.
Then if someone's going to like Chevrolet to buy a car and they see Ford across the street, they're going to be like, well, let me go see Ford as well. So you're like maximizing the amount of people that you can.
I get what you mean. You don't want to be the only.
Yeah.
You don't want to be Mini Cooper dealership.
Yeah, it's like
on
food
your
courts,
own,
right? It's like food courts.
Food courts at malls is the exact same thing. I wish I knew the phrase. That would have been better. Okay, but history minor. I was a history major, also kind of on accident. So this is since this is a podcast about dates, we'll play it. You'd be surprised how bad people are with history. All right.
I've been pretty bad.
So
Okay.
we're gonna play a game called Dates You Should Know. Okay.
Sure.
So we'll start off easy. All right. July 4th, 1776.
Independence Day, baby.
Yeah.
And I mean, not when President Bill Pullman, tells us that we will not go quietly into the night. I don't know the speech, but from Independence Day.
Yeah, from
It's
the
like,
Independence Day
all of
movie.
you guys are going to get in crop duster planes and we're going to kill the aliens,
Yeah.
baby. And Randy Quaid, I'm going to need you to sacrifice yourself really crazy way.
Shout out
Can
to
we
Will
just scrap
Smith.
the podcast and have him word for word
Describe-
reenact
yeah,
the movie.
Independence Day, the movie?
All right. The first scene opens up.
Will Smith is
Will Smith is having sex
is he really?
with Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah,
He's
so-
late.
Yeah.
He's
So
late.
is she.
Right. He's bussing, but sorry.
All right, next
I
date.
get too far with the bussing thing.
A little trickier, but December 7th, 1941.
A day that will live in infamy in
Damn.
Pearl Harbor. I went out there. I went out to Pearl Harbor and they make you before you get on the boat to go out and see the Arizona, the
Yeah.
sunken boat
Mm.
in the bay. They make you watch this like tourism video, right? Because there's so
Really?
many tourists that come and want to go out
Yeah,
into
yeah.
Pearl Harbor
Right.
and see the sunken ships. And the video that they show is weirdly and intensely like very I'm trying to think of the word, like celebratory of how smart and how genius the Japanese sneak attack really was. They're like, Japanese, like, oh no, we didn't see it coming. You guys killed those 18-year-olds in their sleep so good.
Oh my God.
You guys murdered them in cold blood. And I'm like, I realize I'm looking around the little theater. And I'm like, oh, it's all Japanese people that are like coming to see. It's so many Japanese tourists that come over and see it, that it's like just very congratulatory of the
Really?
Japanese and then to go see like a bunch of kids,
Damn,
bunch of
right.
murdered teenagers.
I'm trying to
But that's
think
the most
what-
American thing ever, though, to be like, well, we did kind of lose that one, but it was to the most genius,
Yeah, right.
unstoppable force of all time.
Really good at math.
If we're really digging
enemies.
it's a whole different thing. Where like if you know, I'm a dork. I've read too much about it, but it's just like we essentially were just like hit me. We gave Japan
And they did
essentially no way to not attack us.
Right.
And then when they did, we're like, we don't even need to drop a nuclear weapon on you. We're just doing this to scare Russia.
Yeah.
To let them know this is what we can. We're friends right now.
Yeah.
We're on the same team right now. Look what we have. They didn't like.
I'm trying to think of other like big monuments like Chernobyl. What's the Chernobyl, welcome center like? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I hope it's a stay away.
Right,
I hope
right.
it's like not okay to go there yet,
but
right?
people go. No, people go though.
People do go. People do go.
to-
There is like a whole subset of people who like going to like the most dangerous people to go to the Fukushima in Japan, the reactor meltdown.
Yeah.
It's like don't go there.
Hey,
Content.
maybe don't come. Yeah, it's just for content. It's just a
you
bunch of
gotta have your-
YouTubers.
I think it literally is.
Mr. Beast is like first one to leave the nuclear reactor.
My eyeballs are falling out, but hey guys, we're here.
Last one to stay at the nuclear reactor.
My piss is green.
That comes in handy. They're not reproducing.
That's
But,
good. Yeah.
okay, a couple more dates for you. June 6th, 1944.
June 6th, 1944 is D-Day, baby.
Man, this guy is crushing all the other Americans. All right, how about the third Monday of every January?
That is when they test the sirens in my home.
Yes, that's how specific we got. It's a holiday, third Monday in every January.
Is that Martin Luther King Day?
This,
I thought it was always the 17th. That's his birthday.
it's the yeah. But the third Monday is because
Day
it
off.
wants to be a federal holiday so they can have the day off. So that's why they
Right.
make it the third Monday because it's close to 17. All right.
Why don't they do that shit for like, I guess, 4th of July?
4th of July.
They learned from it. They're like,
the fourth.
guys, this fucks up shit because it's a Tuesday this year. Where it's like, all right, we'll do
Hey,
like,
that was so weird.
I don't know. But when like I worked an office job, it would be like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to give us the third off too? The answer is
Right.
always
You have to.
You have
Well,
to.
yeah. If you show up, you're just pissed off, right?
Yeah.
You just don't do anything.
And then you don't. And then if they don't, everybody else takes the day off, and you don't show up to the office. Everyone's gone, and then you just all right. Well,
Just fuck off,
I
right.
don't do anything that I
Right.
got paid for.
If you're not traveling, it's like I won't take the day, so I keep my PTO days. I'll just show up, eat for free or whatever. And
Did
just
y'all
like
ever
leave.
have to work Christmas Day?
Ooh, no.
No, teaching was.
I always had corporate jobs, so I never had to do Christmas Day.
I worked Christmas Day at Walgreens,
Damn,
and I remember
that's
them being like, everyone at the store has to work like I think it was like a 4-hour shift because it was like everyone's
Spread it
working
out.
Christmas, but
Yeah.
barely at all. And so I remember like being like in the morning Christmas Day, like it had snowed really hard. And I'm like driving in. There's no other cars that have been out. There's one guy. Like I was there for 4 hours. I think 1 or 2 people came
Right.
in and was like, I didn't think you guys are gonna be open.
Yeah. Right.
It's not like in Starbucks where they're like getting your caffeine on the way to grandma's house or whatever. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
Got to get those condoms Christmas Day. You never know what's gonna
Just getting
happen.
their photos developed today.
I need a passport photo, actually.
Passport photo. I'm gonna do a murder for
Yeah.
my family.
That's
I'm gonna go
hilarious.
leave quick.
All right, you're 4 for 4, which is very impressive. Last night, January 11th, 2011.
January 11th, 2011.
Wow, so he knows D-Day, but he doesn't even know the date he met his wife. That's crazy, dude.
Shit. I was about to say, when I immediately went to him, like, is this when the Bengals lost in the playoffs?
Right.
Where they don't need
Johnson,
to,
yeah.
exactly.
Whose one's that?
No, that's funny. That's probably that is probably right. That's probably
He did
right.
it to me when our first ever episode. I think I ended up cutting it out, but it was the day either I proposed or
It was the day you proposed.
yeah.
See, if it was like my anniversary or something,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would know.
Right.
But yeah, it
Sometimes I like to invite people on the podcast I don't know well, and off top, just be a total asshole gotcha moment
roast
to them.
them.
Yeah, that's how I like.
was open with, wow, do you even love your wife?
Do you?
Would
That's
you
his MO.
die for your wife? Or
right. That's his MO.
That it's just.
I have a quick game. So we're both Cincinnati children
Sure.
or young men. Rapid fire. Favorite Bengal of all time.
Favorite Bengal of all time?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, Bengal football team for all you non-sports fans.
Yeah, sorry.
the thing is, if we're clocking in right now, probably my favorite Bengal of all time is AJ Green.
Ooh, AJ. Okay.
I think Ocho Cinco is an easy choice.
Yeah.
And I think he did make it like fun to pay attention.
Yeah.
And actually like a fun team. But I don't know, man. The Andy and AJ era.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I had so much fun. I was living in Chicago those years. Went to 5 straight playoff games, 5 straight
losses. Bullshit
heartbreaking.
Losses. Yeah.
Marvin Lewis.
Increasingly heartbreaking losses.
It can't happen every year.
And you're like, it's like just statistically we'll win one.
Yeah, losing
like,
to the Texans and like the Steelers is tragic. Well, go ahead.
It just hurt more. I mean, the Steelers one hurt.
That was tragic.
Bad. I mean,
as a Steelers fan, pretty great win.
That was like even some of my Steeler fan friends were like,
sorry,
I'm gonna give you a minute before we like
tragic.
Oh yeah,
because it was just so raw. Right. I was just like, I remembered having a bunch of Bengals and Steelers fan friends over to my house for that game.
Poor choice. Poor choice.
It looks like we're about to win.
Yeah,
my friend gets like champagne out of the fridge. Yeah. He has like a big thing of Fireball for some reason. He's like, I'm like, don't
jinx it.
And then it ends in flames. We lose. We beat ourselves.
Right.
We like the Steelers don't
penalties.
Penalties. They give them the game for free. And I remember just sitting there and I'm just like taking Fireball out of the bottle to the face, and my wife was like, she just. I'm telling this is like, we refer to it as like a low point in our marriage. We weren't married yet, but I remembered she was like, you maybe don't need to drink that right out of the bottle. And I was just like, you can leave. she's like, you said that to me like how they describe the shark in Jaws. Like,
yeah.
Black eyes, like a doll's eyes. Like I just like was so.
That's a tragic.
This team has been with me longer than you have. I'll leave right.
Because it's not just the loss; it's the loss to who we lost to, the way we lost.
And
it was just
biggest rivals.
I thought it was fun, and they had not won a playoff game in my whole life.
Like decades.
I'm like, this is finally it. It finally happens.
All right. Kroger or Meijer?
I lived closer to Kroger.
Yeah.
And my uncle worked for corporate Kroger.
Okay.
And so I knew we always went to Kroger.
Okay.
Shout out good grocery stores.
Good grocery store. Then last one, the old debate.
Skyline.
Gold Star.
See?
Skyline. All right.
I mean,
Skyline. What? So that it's like chili on pasta, right?
So it is.
It depends on how you can get.
Okay.
This is a battle.
The fact that you guys are already like, well. The thing you got to understand is
watch your mouth.
I've had the fight enough times that I'm like, I'm already wearing the Spider-Man suit underneath. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be wearing it all the time because I know when I'm going to have to make the same argument I always make.
Exactly.
For those of you not familiar, this is Cincinnati's famous dish.
Cincinnati chili. It is a Greek chili.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not chili.
It's soup.
It is meat sauce.
Yeah.
If they called it like just Skyline, if they called it Skyline meat sauce, people wouldn't come for it.
Yeah.
Because like nobody.
Also, people might not come to it at all.
They don't. Only in
Skyline
that
meat
one
sauce.
little part of the world do they go. Does it work? But it's like, first of all, the main event is a half pound of finely shredded cheddar cheese.
Yes.
Let's be real.
Right.
Like no one is going to Skyline Chili and being like, I'll have one bowl of chili, please. It's like, that would be like going to like an Italian restaurant and be like, I'll have a bowl of marinara sauce, please.
Yeah.
That's like insane to do.
Yeah.
So you're basically, it's a bolognese that you're putting on hot dogs. No one doesn't like a chili cheese dog. Like, why is that never a part of the conversation?
Exactly.
Conies are the main event.
Yeah.
But then they do a 3-way, which is this chili spaghetti and the cheddar cheese. But for some reason, no one's ever coming for chili mac. Why are we worried about the noodle? Why is chili mac never getting any heat for being like chili on pasta? It's like, I promise you've had it.
Yeah,
if you've ever had like bad casserole.
So bad marketing is what you're chalking it up to.
No, it's like having to defend Taco Bell too, where it's like you don't want, like if Taco Bell was only your like a Pittsburgh thing, you'd be like, it's good when you're hammered.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like,
right.
You know, it's not real Mexican food.
Right. Exactly. Where you're like, this is not good food, but but it is a thing you do when you're drunk. You can eat a lot of it. It's $2.
Yes,
that's part of it too.
It's a little kids cookout birthday. Like, I'll get some cheese condoms for the 8-year-old type.
It's open late. There's always a cop in the store. Because they're like,
ratchet.
It's bad. It's gonna get weird in here pretty soon.
It's Cincinnati's Waffle House.
It's truly
pretty
Cincinnati's
much.
Waffle House.
That is a good. See, Sam, good job, bro. It is what the Waffle House is to Atlanta in the South. That is for Cincinnati specifically.
It's not like a Primanti Bros where you're like, but it is similar where it's like I love Pittsburgh Primanti Bros is their thing.
Okay.
You
French
ever fuck with
fries
it?
and coleslaw in the sandwich.
So French fries and coleslaw in the sandwich is that's all you have to say.
Right.
But the thing that they never say about it, which I was like, actually, that's pretty fucking cool, is that there's a big sign when you go in that's like, no, we won't take it off.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, you're getting it with
Yeah.
French fries and coleslaw on everything here.
It's like poutine in Toronto. It's like you just don't get it if you're not from there.
Right.
Right.
And the history is like the steel workers couldn't hold all the stuff on the high beams, so that's why they like put everything on the sandwich because they can't have sides up there.
Yeah,
so
they want all the coleslaw to drip on the steel beams as they
Damn.
balance up there.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's get to our save the date segment.
Yeah.
All right, those were quick fire dates. This is save the date, little deep dive. We got 2 little cute dates for you.
Cute dates.
So April, we'll let you guess.
Mm.
Most people don't guess right because how can you just remember a random day of your life? But April 14th, 2018.
April 14th, 2018, I would have still been at SNL.
This is, yeah, you're on the right track.
I would have still been on SNL. April 14th, maybe this was around the range of when I went to that, like, I do a sketch with Jack White?
Yes, you did, sir. What a
Yeah.
great memory. So yeah, you do the
I
horn.
thought that was in May for some reason.
the horn sketch is the same episode as
Same
well. Okay, so
John Mulaney, he picked 2 of my sketches, which is like,
Nice.
you have to realize I think the whole year I had 5 sketches on.
Oh, well.
And 1 week I had 2.
like the most famous,
Yeah.
Which is like,
But it's like the LeBron James of SNL.
yeah, like he's the most of modern day SNL. He's like, come back and host it anytime you want.
Yeah.
Like he's the only.
and he was gacked up too. This was like the height of his cocaine.
Yeah,
addiction.
it was lit. It was lit.
I was like,
Like you could tell, it
Yeah.
wasn't well hidden at all.
no. Yeah, I wasn't well hit.
Anyway, we won't talk about it then.
No,
But-
I won't come for him. But when all that came out, I went, oh, yeah.
I love his last special.
I gave it to him. No, I stayed away.
That was such a good special.
Well, that's so.
You liked it?
I saw him do that live in New Orleans in Louis Armstrong Park. I saw him do that sketch.
Nice.
And there's a whole bit. Now this is good stuff.
Okay.
There's a whole bit in that special where he talks about Pete Davidson calling him
Yeah.
at the rehab center.
Right.
And then he's saved Pete Davidson's phone number as Al Pacino. And that's why he keeps the bit in, right?
Yeah.
Is that they let him answer this phone call because they thought Al Pacino was calling.
Uh-huh.
Really, it was Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Right.
To start the bit out, though, he goes like, I want to make this very clear. I've never done drugs with Pete Davidson. I've never done cocaine with Pete Davidson. That's not what he was calling me about, you know. And my wife is digging her nails into my arm as we're listening to this because I had never done cocaine in my life. I opened for Pete Davidson at Tulane, was hanging with him
Yeah.
in the French Quarter. I was like, Pete Davidson literally forced me to do cocaine for the first time in my life, 200 feet from where I'm sitting. Like, I'm listening to him. I'm like, he absolutely did cocaine. I understand why he had to say that to not be like, I'm going to put him on blast.
Exactly.
Like, it's going to be very obvious that he's going to be calling me, being like, everyone's going to know that I am doing it. And it's like,
Right.
right.
Got to keep it in.
But he's like, the bit's too good. I got to like,
Soften it.
I gotta stop. But I just remembered sitting there being like, this is so weirdly specific, just like where I am.
Because it was
Because
that.
I'd said no to it many times because I was like, I don't want to do it because I know I will like it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm good. But the first time I ever did that was with him.
With
Yeah,
Pete. That's a
yeah.
pretty good. I mean, if you're gonna do it, well, that was the Tulane show with you, Pete Davidson, and was it Chris Red or Alex Moffat?
It was Mikey Day.
Mikey Day.
And I remember being like,
damn.
Mikey, do you do stand up? And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, okay.
Was this like Wild and Out era Mikey Day? Or was he on SNL?
He was at SNL. So it was
They
like
just hired
20
y'all to do their like homecoming or whatever it was.
Yeah. It was pretty early. It was like maybe probably 20.
It is interesting. I mean, him, Mikey Day, Pete. Who else? Was there anybody else on Wild and Out before SNL? I feel like it was maybe just them two.
Those are the two big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
It might
know.
have been anybody else, but people forget Mikey Day was on Wild and Out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that.
For years.
Yeah, and he was like good. He was good on it.
He's good.
He's a talented lad. Yeah, so that April 14th, John Mulaney hosted. You have the horn sketch where you kind of play the straight man to Heidi Gardner, like you have horn implants.
But I'm the straight man.
Yeah, you're the straight man.
Okay.
And John Mulaney's like, we're gonna, we can remove those. And he plays the doctor, and you're like, babe, I'm not. She's mad. You're removing it.
Removing my horn implant.
Yeah, and you're like, babe, I won't remove the zipper on my butt crack.
My butt
like,
crack.
like all this stuff. So
they made us take stuff out of that. They made us change a bunch of the lines because I wrote that with Heidi. And of all the things we wrote the whole year, we wrote so much stuff that I was like, they got to put this on.
yeah,
the strategy was like, we'll write 2 things this week. We'll write the thing we put all the time into, and we'll write this other one, and then they'll throw that one in the trash.
Yeah.
And they'll have to let us read
Yeah.
this one.
make it look good by
Make it
submitting
look
something
good.
bad.
Exactly. And the opposite happened.
Exactly.
What
And
was
I'm
the
like-
bad one what was the good one supposed to be?
We had this pitch that we wanted to do that I can't really do it justice because Heidi is so fucking funny.
So funny.
She's was one of my best friends there. But it was this sketch about us being on like Shark Tank and us. We had like these really low voices like this. And it was like, we need $1 million to make sure that Kevin Bacon never dies. And then it was like, people were like, we were going to have like Keenan be like, what's his name? Damon.
David John.
Or Chris Red or someone be like, that makes no sense.
Where's the profit?
And then he's like, and then it was something about like, John Mulaney was like, he's like, I'm back in. What are you gonna, like we eventually sell it. That it's, but it was this very stupid Shark Tank bit that they let us instead. They threw that one in the trash. They were like,
Do the
whatever this
horns
is, we
one?
hate it. And the horns one, which we really were like, this wouldn't work at all.
Right.
For some reason, John Mulaney really liked being like the doctor
Right.
character.
Yeah. That's how it goes though. The thing that you put all your time into and the thing that you don't think of that comes naturally.
Totally.
Like it just,
That's crazy, man.
Well, so I'm sure you've gotten your fair share of hate comments on the internet,
Sure.
as all of us have. But what's interesting about the horn sketch, was it the late for school sketch, which was like, that one has like 14 million views on YouTube that you wrote. But the other one, that Cut for Time, that same John Mulaney episode, which everyone online is like, why are the Cut for Time sketches always the funniest sketches?
Yeah.
But you're the best man at John Mulaney and Cecily Strong's wedding,
Right.
and you sing a song, and it's basically you and Cecily like are in love.
Fucking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very simple.
yeah. And
Not
Cecily,
much more to it.
and like the twist is like everyone just thinks it's awkward, like, oh, he's confessing her love, but then Cecily also like has a mic,
She has a mic.
and it's like the perfect sketch because it's just John Mulaney being like, what's happening, in only a way that John Mulaney
Yeah.
Exactly.
can.
Only both of those sketches only work with him being the host.
Yeah.
No other host would willingly.
What
do
is that like when you're in that setting and there are certain persons that's hosting's coming? Do you feel like, oh, I know I can do jokes for this person versus like, well, it's gonna be tough for this person?
Oh, people will like save shit
Yeah.
because they're like, well, Will Ferrell's gonna fucking.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell hosted when I was there, so they're like, I'm gonna save this for Will
Yeah.
Ferrell. And the thing that I think people didn't realize though, that I kind of, no one tells you how to do anything there.
Yeah.
You're learning the game just on
Yeah.
fire.
Everyone's looking for themselves.
You already have 3 bullets in your legs already. Exactly. Everyone's,
Uh-huh.
which that's just the way it is. But I was learning, I was like, oh, it sucks when the host has a stand-up background at all, because it means that their monologue is going to be 9 minutes long.
Right.
Because everyone sees like Chappelle or Louis C.K. or like some of these people who like
Yeah.
do a set. Of
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Like that'll delete a sketch off the bat.
Yeah.
So like what would have been 8 sketches that week is now 7.
Wow, I
You know what
never
mean?
thought
So
about
you're
it
like,
like that.
oh, shit. So like, and it really is like, like, I remember Larry David hosted when I was there, and he's like, I want to do stand up for my
Monologue.
thing. And like, even Lauren was like, do you do stand up? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like you haven't done stand up
Yeah.
Like 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
He did stand up, but it was like, it was one of those things where he'd rather do that in his own voice. I get it.
Yeah.
Than like have to, whatever
Right.
shit we're thinking of for him. You
That's
know?
crazy.
If you can say, was there someone that you felt was, and regardless of whether sketches got on, that you felt like, oh, this host is really easy for me to write for, and who was like, oh, this one is, oh, it's kind of tougher for me to write for this person, just because maybe like comedically
I think
doesn't line up.
something I noticed too was the same thing that happened with like stand-up comedian people with a stand-up background. They also have in their head, like they've kind of built up, oh, if I ever host SNL, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they come in with stuff in their back pocket that a lot of it will like is a square peg in a round hole where it's like, it's not really going to work.
That's not how the
but we're
show
going to try to
works,
make that work. And so they're actually, even though they understand comedy more, they were a little harder to like pitch for, or whereas like someone who has
a pop star, just like I'm on Transformer 3,
whatever.
I'm trying to just be I'm Megan Fox, whatever.
Totally, like Gal Gadot. Host, she was like, I'll do whatever. Don't care. Charles Barkley, I'll do whatever. Don't care. Whatever you guys think's funny, let's do it.
They're used to getting lines. They're used to being like, this is the script. Okay, cool, I'll perform it.
I mean, for that, it was like, they kind of like trust fall into you a little more. Whereas like comedians, they have their own flavor and they want it to be their way.
Especially stand-ups are very stubborn.
Totally.
So back to the Cut for Time. It's you and Cecily Strong singing, and Cecily has a great voice. You have a great voice, and your stand-up now, like it's all guitar, mostly guitar. Like you do a lot of songs, but there's a difference between like, oh, that person's good at singing for being a comedian. Like, oh, they're good enough where they can do jokes. You like just legitimately have a great singing voice. And so
That's too nice.
Why
That's kind.
Why I bring up the whole comment thing a while back is like a lot of the comments on your sketches that are on SNL is a bunch of people being like, this guy needs more opportunities. And when they hear you singing, they're like, how are they not using this guy for singing more? Right. And I know that's kind of famously like, I'm a guitar guy, but I know your like audition, you did a Jay Cutler impression that was kind of bad boy, and Cecily was like, that's what they wanted out of you, and you're pitching like music this whole time. So I know it was like tough to go through, but like, did you read the comments at all? Did you see like, okay, well, at least I have these fans that are validating like this person is great at singing. Why are you not using this? Like, I'm sure you got Adam Sandler and all that stuff.
Sure. I think I had tried, because they saw me in Chicago. They saw me do my thing. They saw me audition multiple times in Chicago. They flew me out to New York multiple times. And every time they saw me, I did at least a little bit of my act, which is
guitar,
me with a guitar.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Because that's
not
you,
the whole time. I did character. I did the other shit too.
Yeah.
But like I did a little, I would always end it with a little guitar bit.
Yeah.
And so by the end, when they made me uproot my life and fly out and like they gave me the job, I was like, they're interested in having this element as part of the
it's different
package.
You're trying to find a way to be different too,
exactly right? And so it just became very clear that no, they were actually not interested in that element at all. They liked some of like the character shit that I did more, but no one's communicating that to you. So I wasted a lot of my bullets early in the year trying to like, hey, give me an at bat on like a Weekend Update with a song. Let me do a music video sketch. Let me do, let me in. And it became very clear that was not going to happen.
Right.
Gotcha.
They were just like, no. At the very end of the year, I pitched Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, song.
Yeah.
And he listens to it. He's sitting there in my shitty little office. He's sitting on the floor like crisscross applesauce.
It's vibing.
And I remember being like, I was like, you can have a chair. His brother was like, and his cousin,
Steven,
we're hanging.
And he was doing like what's double do? He was the musical act and the host, right? Childish Gambino
he did both.
Donald Glover host.
I mean, I love him. I won him over by being like, dude, I listened to Childish Gambino when they were like the downloadable tracks on the Derek Comedy website.
Yeah.
Wow.
That were just like, you could stream them like, not even, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and as soon as I said that, he was like, oh, and he listened to this track. Like I recorded like a silly little demo in the music studio, and he sat there and he listened to it and he was like, where'd you record this? I was like, like down the hallway, like around the corner. He goes, take me to the studio. And I took him to the studio, and he like listened to the song one more time, and then did like just improvise. He didn't have like the lyrics in front of him or anything. He just improvised over the top of it and like added backup vocals to it. That sketch, I was like, oh my God, this is like it. The host is feeling my shit. And he goes, do you sell songs? Like, do you write music and sell music? He goes like, he put so much wind in my sails in a way he did not need to do. He was so fucking cool to me, so nice to me, gassed me up so much. And then I remember being like, I was like, I'm not going to write anything else. This is going to be my one submission this week. I'm like, please let me show this.
Like at least the table read.
To the table read, please. Like, this is all I got.
Right.
right in the trash, baby. I
Wow.
forgot to show it.
Wasn't it the
Still have
places
it, though.
places you shouldn't be horny? That was the concept
Yeah.
of the song.
The whole concept of the song was, have you ever been horny in a place where you shouldn't be horny? It was just listing off places where you shouldn't be horny. But then the twist of the song is that one of the things I list is a limousine, and like Don Glover's like, hold up. Limousine is perfectly viable place to be it's the horniest vehicle there is. And so then it ends with like, you can be horny in limousine. Like, but it is very silly. But it's
is there ever moments like that? And I guess we all get to that, even at stand-ups too, where you're around really successful people and you understand why they're so successful, or it's like, oh, well, this guy's isn't shit when I meet him. So on the positive side though, like, is there someone that was just like, oh, like, I see why they're a fucking superstar, like the aura, the you know?
Yes, and it wasn't at SNL. It was like a couple months ago.
Really, who was it?
I got invited to perform with Wayne Brady.
I saw that y'all improvised songs.
Really?
Together.
He invited me. He did a show, and he's like, he goes, my daughter loves your videos. I love your videos. I know you have an improv background. Do you want to come to my show and improvise some songs with me? And I was like,
was it here?
It was in the North Hollywood.
Okay.
And so I go up there, and
I mean, Wayne Brady, like, that's like the guy.
I've loved Wayne for so long, just from like Who's Line and stuff.
Right.
But like from that Chappelle Show sketch where it's like,
wait, I mean,
it's maybe one of the greatest sketches
of all time. Probably.
I mean,
close to it.
But met him. He was the nicest, coolest dude.
Yeah.
But I watched him. He's like, I'll call you up and we'll improvise a little bit. But like, just watching him do, like, he did a handful of covers. He took some suggestions, improvised some songs. He's one of those guys where you're just like, oh, I don't even want to go up there anymore. Yeah. I don't even want to stand up and have to go up there with you because you're just too good. He's just one of those guys who's blindingly talented that you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I am not, like, in that moment, it made me feel very, like, in a fun, good way. I was like, oh, I suck, dude. Yeah. I'm going to go up there and
it's like inspirationally, like, overwhelming. Like, oh, this is cool, but damn,
Right.
Yeah, dude.
I don't have to follow that.
I'm single A to that. He's MLB, man.
And
like,
it is, and Wayne Brady's not even, Who's Line? I guess, what was he hosting? He was hosting one of the game shows, right?
Yeah.
It was like, it's so funny because, like, that's probably a whole generation of people that don't really remember Who's Line for real. And he's still this good on stuff, just like a one-off show.
Yeah.
This is crazy,
Yeah, I mean, legendary.
Shout out to Wayne Brady.
Well, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Before we get to our last date, my comedy career has not reached anywhere close to where your comedy career has happened. But like, it's just funny with social media, like, when things go viral, like, people come out of the woodwork to be like,
sure.
And so I can't imagine the most random people after you got SNL being like, we're friends, right? And you're just like,
yeah,
hold on. And then, so I'd love to hear on that. And then secondly, I heard you say that after SNL, you move out here doing stand-up and you had to get someone to do your taxes professionally. Yeah. And he was like, I've never seen someone on network television make less money in my life than you on SNL.
That is true. So, I was like, you didn't need to say that.
right.
You could actually have kept that to yourself.
Exactly.
So were there either one or both, like, people coming out of the woodwork random, and two, once you got SNL, were there family members like, well, you're rich now. You're just super wealthy.
I think there was definitely, like, my family wasn't, like, that year I kind of felt like the prize pig at Thanksgiving, where it was like my family's treating me weird a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were nice though. They weren't like Mr. Hollywood, Mr. New York City.
I mean, they got a sense of humor, but it was like a little weird.
Yeah.
But I get it. I understand. It's like, but none of them thought I was rich, I don't think. At least not immediately. I think I was pretty.
That's a good white family, black family. Hey, boy, goddamn, my knees hurt. Let me get
exactly.
let me hold 1,000.
Yeah, knee replacement, son.
There were definitely, like, people, like you said, like, when you have something go viral, you'll sometimes get random people hitting you up, which is like nice and cool and funny. Sometimes you're just like, what the fuck is this person following me now? But it was more like the SNL thing. It didn't really blow my social media up at all.
For real.
I just think it was a different time. It wasn't the same like Reels game or whatever. It
was different.
It is crazy because 2018 is when you got it. It's
2017 is when I got it.
Yeah, so it's crazy how much of a difference now. Like, even the SNL posts that I look back on, they're posting like you posted a grainy photo, as everybody did on Instagram, of like you and Chris Redd and somebody else, maybe Mikey, whoever, Alex Moffat from Chicago, and they're like regramming it on like the SNL official thing.
My shitty, like, our eyes are red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and now
I
like
was just the intern, you know?
and now like everybody who gets announced gets like this special reel. It's like Michael Longfellow, and it does blow up. So it is kind of crazy, even though 2017 is not long ago, but how different Instagram is. Anyway, continue
totally
with the
different.
people.
It was more like, because I came out of Chicago. They came and saw me in Chicago. I just went back there this weekend. It was great seeing so many people and so many old friends. But I remember when I got the show, I was not like the guy in Chicago. So like so many of the New York people were like, "Oh, were you like Second City main stage? Were you?" And I was like, "No, dude, no."
Right. Like Chris Redd, who was same year as you, was just coming off like Pop Star, like a major box office film.
He had a show. He had that. He was on that show about weed. That was like Chuck Lorre's.
Yeah.
Got canceled after 1 year, but like
still.
But I'm saying like he was a working actor.
Right. You didn't even have an agent, right?
No, no. I mean, I had just got an agent right before SNL, which to me, that was like best case. I was like, I'm going to audition for it.
Yeah.
Get a little, you know, in Chicago, I got an agent. But it was like, it was funny how people that were like at my level, which was, I was kind of in the indie scene, kind of doing random weird bullshit, not at the big theater. If I was at the big theater, I'm on a Thursday. You know what I mean? Like I was not.
Was Laugh Factory Chicago open yet?
Laugh Factory was open. I was just starting to dip a toe there before I left, but I was like at IO. I was doing a lot of sketch and improv shit and doing like the Shithole, which was very like almost like Don't Tell Now, where it's a surprise secret show.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Shithole. Yeah, it was like an attic.
It's an attic.
I never did it. I never did it.
Oh, that's the actual name. I thought you were just like talking crap
the
about
show
like,
was
called the Shithole.
It took me a second to remember. Oh, yeah, because they had like really dope like the flyers.
Oh, the flyers were awesome.
Crazy.
Shout out to Lauren England. Yeah,
I don't know who
Lauren would make those. He was part of the group, man. Right. He would make these.
That's awesome.
They nailed the vibe. It was so cool. They ran a fun show, pop up all the time. But it was funny once I got to New York, how many of my real friends in Chicago were being like, people are running their mouth either saying that they were like writing partners with you. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to have a ready partner.
Yeah, you're right. I was begging people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nobody offered.
Yeah, no one.
I was lonely.
And then the other end of it was like, then there's a bunch of like geezers who've been in Chicago for a long time waiting for their turn.
Yeah.
Like, fuck is this guy? Which I get that. I get way more.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but.
Yeah, but you didn't have everybody coming out the woodwork, like old high school friends being like...
A little bit, not a ton. It was mostly overwhelmingly positive, like, go get them.
Yeah.
Because it was so like, I went from single A baseball to major league. You know what I mean? Like, I skipped a lot. I skipped some levels. And that is very evident from how... I'd never auditioned for anything in my life. I auditioned for a Slim Jim commercial in Chicago and then SNL, and I got it. Which is dumb. It's dumb.
It's insane to get something on your 50th audition ever.
Right.
Like that big.
Oh,
like,
truly.
So
no, it was dumb. It was like actually a bad call. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never.
Yeah.
I remember after I did the first sketch I ever did, I had like 2 lines or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Steve Higgins, a producer, comes up to me after the rehearsal and he goes, "Do a 30th of what you're doing." He's like, you need to do. He's like, you're on TV now. That camera is zoomed up on your face. Like you're used to performing in a dark room, live, unmiked. Like you're yelling. You got to be big, you know.
Right.
And And I'm like, you're right. He's like, if you're like having to be surprised, he's like, genuinely, just think about it. Don't even think that you need to do something with your face.
Damn, that is crazy. Especially improv, y'all, you aren't mic'd.
You're not mic'd.
Right.
So you have to scream. Even stand up, you're talking into the mic. Wow, that's crazy.
Which is very funny because I've told that to people and they've been like, wow, that's absolutely brutal. And I was like, no, it was good advice.
Yeah.
It was good advice.
Actually, that does seem really nice. Like they could have just been like, this guy looks like let's cut him from the other stuff. But like,
I mean, he was just like, you can't keep doing it. He's like, you're going.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I can't. But I'm like, but Keenan does that. And they're like, well, Keenan can do that.
Right. Keenan.
Like,
he has
probably
one
the rule
name.
there.
He's
Like
Keenan is allowed to do that.
Yeah. Keenan is Keenan.
You are not.
People last a few seasons here. He's been here for 17.
Yeah.
He's Keenan.
Even at that,
he's
at that time, yeah.
He's been there forever. All right. Last date that I'll give you, August 24th, 2022.
August 24th last year.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, we're getting close to a year ago.
Ooh. I don't know.
This is, you returned to Ohio University to perform during Welcome Week festivities at the Baker Theater.
Oh, yeah. Where it all began. I didn't begin there.
Where it all?
No, but was it, I mean,
The student center. I did a college gig at OU.
Yeah.
but I mean, right. And at the end of the day, I'm sure, okay, you've done much bigger things and you've done colleges before and you've done Tulane with Pete Davidson, but was it kind of just like a fun, like,
Oh,
yeah, man, like I just used to be like your wife, then girlfriend used to be the PR of the improv club.
right.
Like, just who even knows where this is going. And then now, like, okay, you guys are returning married and you're an SNL alum. And it's like, they're all proud to be like, our guy, Luke. Like,
It's fun. Like, have you done college gigs?
no.
Have you?
I haven't. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Uh-uh.
I used to do them a lot more. They don't book as many comics anymore. That's just
Yeah.
the state of things.
Right.
But I love doing colleges.
Really?
They were great money,
Yeah.
easy money.
Yeah.
Because
They got a clock like that running at the bottom of the stage.
Oh yeah.
No, you are only you've already cashed the check.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck. It's
Right.
actually very freeing because you're like, I'm not here to artistically feel good.
Right.
You know what I
Really?
mean? I'm getting paid too much money from an organization that doesn't know that I'm not worth this amount of money.
Yeah.
Because comedy clubs are like, here's $20.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
it.
And those
And they'd be
steak.
Eat that ground beef off the floor.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Like, I don't want to eat it. Like, eat it without your hands.
It's like
Eat it-
Pete
eat it
Davidson
like a
with
dog.
cocaine.
I won't take no for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, going back to OU, like the older I've gotten, I've realized you are not performing when you do college gigs. You're not performing for juniors and seniors. You're not performing for kids who've
Right.
been around. You're performing for
Right.
freshmen
Yeah. Cause they're
who got nothing better to do
They
on
don't
a
have-
Friday night.
trying to
They
meet
don't have
friends.
a fake.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
They don't have an apartment they can drink at.
They don't know where to go. This was literally opening weekend. So these kids are like high school kids.
Pretty much.
But they packed it out for me, which was nice. It was nice because when I've done other college gigs, I've found myself feeling very old in those moments, as I think it's easy and natural to do because I am so much older than them. You know what
That's
I
what I
mean?
was gonna ask. How do you even connect with them?
It's hard to, but because it was the school I went to,
The inside
it was
jokes
so
and stuff.
easy.
Yeah.
It was so easy to like.
That's about it.
If it's a college gig, I'll usually walk around the campus and like
Yeah.
learn the name of a bar, learn the
Uh-huh.
name of the bridge. You say that. That's in
The bridge, right? Yeah. The bridge is so funny.
the bridge's name. They know. That's all it takes. And that also works for any city.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just get any regional thing and it goes a long way. It just shows that you gave it 1 second of thought of where you are.
Right.
It's 3 minutes.
Little
of
personable,
content.
yeah.
Just a tiny bit. But OU was easy. And weirdly, one of my good buddies got me into a fantasy football league 2 years ago. And I don't really know that many people in it, so I don't care about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in it for a minute. And he goes, "Do you want to go to the brewery in Athens, Ohio?"
Yeah.
Which was my favorite. It's like my dog in the beer race. And they've blown up a bunch. They're all over. Jackie O's brewery they're great. It's a great beer. And I get to the brewery with my buddy who still lives in Athens, and he goes, "Hey, just so you know, the guy who makes all the beer here is in our fantasy football league."
Oh shit.
And so I'm like, it's funny because all the kids I'm like, I didn't really want to drink with
Mm-hmm.
the college kids. I'm sorry. I'm too old. It's weird.
I think that's healthy for you to.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I was laying low, but it was like, oh, I was seeing people. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice. They were. It wasn't weird. They weren't trying to like make me go to another location. You never go to a second location.
Never a second.
Yeah.
Buy me a drink at the bar. Totally cool.
Exactly.
But I meet the bartender, and he's like, "Do you want to go down into the basement and try some of the weird shit that I'm trying out?" I'm like, I can't look at you right now. How excited I am. I was like starstruck by him being the brewmaster
Yeah.
of Jackie O.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
for me, I was like, this is a treat.
That's a great college town.
I was like, I met Jay-Z and I didn't care.
But craft breweries,
That is funny, especially your SNL background. It's literally like the most famous people in the world coming through on a weekly basis. And you're like, but this college town brewmaster.
Good hazy IPA.
It was funny. The first week I was at SNL, Jay-Z was a musical guest. And I remembered going up to him at the after party and being like, hey, I'm Luke. He goes, oh, yeah, you're the new cast member. And I was just like, Jay-Z. And then I remember like being like, having that moment where I'm like, oh my God, I'm talking to Jay-Z right now. This is so fucking crazy. This is insane. Where I am. I'm in New York City. I live here now. Jay-Z's talking to me. I'm going to tell all my friends I was fucking talking to Jay-Z tonight.
Right. Yeah.
And I see behind him,
Beyonce.
Queen Bee is approaching.
Yeah.
I was like, get the fuck out of my face. Fuck you, dude. I immediately didn't give a shit about Jay-Z.
You're like, dude, I think I got a shot with Beyonce
I was like, I
tonight.
don't care about you at all.
Right. The only
Dude.
other more famous person than Jay-Z is his wife.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Big Pimpin's not even that good of a video.
That's crazy.
No, but it is very funny just how fast you're like, what the
Yeah.
Like there when people ask me about like famous people at that place, most people are normal, most people are totally cool. And when you know you're gonna meet somebody, when you like are going into a room and you're like, I'm about to meet
this is the host for this week. I know that
you're prepared.
Yeah.
Right.
You play it cool.
Yeah.
Treat them like a person.
Exactly.
It's perfectly fine. It's the moments where you're like turning a corner and you don't know, because that place, every corner, you don't know who's going to be around the corner or who's like secret guesting and stuff.
Who is the ones that stick out other than Beyonce?
One of the only times that I remember like Will Ferrell was hosting, but I was there before the pitch meeting had started, and so I was like, can't wait to meet Will Ferrell. I love him.
Yeah.
Brian Tucker was a writer whose office was across the hallway from me, and I was like, his door was closed, and I knocked on it, and he's always in there. So I just like knocked on it, and I said, Brian, you in there? He said, yeah. Pop in. Fucking Will Ferrell sitting on his couch, like catching up with him because he knew him from back when.
Long time writer.
And I just like went nonverbal. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, William.
Hello. You and me both. Wow. I like embarrassed my. I felt like
He's probably used to that a little bit.
He was the coolest and the nicest, but like I just remembered in the moment being like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. I was so ready to meet you in that room.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You just start screaming in 4 minutes.
Not now. Don't you do this to me. Don't you do this to me.
What's that Will Smith I Am Legend? Like, no. When the zombie's trying to get in the room. No.
The dog.
Banging
just berating him.
Yeah.
Wasn't ready.
That's funny as
I
hell.
wasn't ready, man.
Well, before we let you get out of here, is there anything you gotta, anything unsaid? No, anything that you gotta plug or would like to get out there?
I just want to make it clear, and I want to go down the barrel with this. Pete Davidson made me do cocaine. That's true.
Barrel.
Pete, you know. It's so fucked up. It's true. No, my only thing that's unsaid is come see me live, come see me live, come see me live, come see me live, come see me live.
Come see him live.
Luke Null on Instagram.
And
the talk.
Dare program.
You guys doing threads yet?
Yeah. Big thread guys.
Huge threads.
I never had a Twitter following, so it's kind of nice to just, once you have an Instagram following, it's built in. I'm like, ooh, 2 days and I already have thousands of followers.
That's annoying.
As someone who is not good at Twitter, I'm excited to only check Twitter for sports stuff.
Yeah.
And not feel bad that I'm not trying to be funny on there and just be like, why is he still on the team?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's like, you gotta stop shit talking on
Yeah.
here. And I'm like, no, it's what it's for.
100%.
What Twitter's for
It's
is
all
getting
gremlins on there. Anyway.
Literally.
What do you mean? They're not gonna buy tickets.
Exactly.
And that's all I'm in for.
Tickets.
Just tickets.
because you don't get access to Lauren's seats at Nike Stadium or Yankee Stadium anymore.
Not no
Nike
more. I did once,
That's tight.
which was pretty wild. That was fun.
But we'll save that for another day. Luke Null, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen.
you for joining
Big
us,
ups, guys.
man. Appreciate
I am
that,
worried about the
boys.
buckets that are hanging from the ceiling.
Oh yeah,
Don't love that.
yeah. That's
But everything else pretty cool.
And we almost
Thank
made
you.
it through without those being brought up.
Almost, but there's more
You're
than
the
one.
first one.
There's more than one.
It is multiple.
And
it was a problem.
and what those are for? Body fluid, human body fluid.
Oh, yeah. Well, people die up top.
roof piss.
And
There's a lot of roof piss. So
their
they-
final resting place is up there. And
Exactly.
then the nitrogen cycle kicks in.
Thank you for coming, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And then there were two.
Did you murder him?
Yeah, he's like,
Last man standing.
yeah, I didn't appreciate the bucket talk, so I had to handle my business. You know how I do it.
How Cincinnati gets down.
Since the nasty, yeah.
Dude, Luke Null, what a legend.
Midwest, hashtag Midwest boys.
Hashtag Midwest Boys. Those are some stories.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm usually annoying to Danny. I'm like always like, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. I could have listened to him talk for 5 hours. The amount of stories he has, like at the end. Oh yeah, one time I saw Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm like, bro, I would be starting every conversation I ever had in my life with.
Well, I feel like it's one of those things where you're around so many famous people. I feel like sometimes, one, you get desensitized to what it is to be around those people. I know I have. But also,
okay, flex.
I mean, yeah, to be totally honest, just working in podcast, like working on big podcasts, whether it be here at WTF Media, whether it be where else I work at Spring Hill,
right? No, you see a lot of big names.
Yeah, just big. So you just like you kind of to his point. Even if you are starstruck, you really can't fan out because you're at work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, what's up, bro? And you kind of try to act normal, but you probably don't look normal, but you just kind of either are silent or just walk away. You probably look like an asshole, but
it's a different setting, yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of have to act like you're not overwhelmed. Right. And also, I feel like, too, when you see a bunch of famous people, at least me, where my brain goes, I go into like protector mode of like, oh, let me not say anything about my interaction with this famous person. So it probably just takes someone that's been around a bunch of famous people just to get used to, oh, I guess I did do this with this person because I was trying to not really talk about it like that.
Right. Incredible, though. Very, very talented guy. For real. Check out Luke Null. He's a killer. He's a killer out there. And
funny musical comedy, funny songs, funny lyrics. He's actually pretty good on the guitar, too. I guess we didn't really ask how he learned how to use the guitar.
Yeah, I mean, he's a theater kid growing up and all that, but yeah, I don't know the... But yeah, that's the thing. There are people who like I know comics who like I can play the guitar and I'm not bad at singing. So let me like, I mean, Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, told him, "Hey, you should make music." Like the dude, I know they're silly songs and they're jokes, but sometimes you hear him sing and it's like, oh, you sound like a singer. Like he's good.
Yeah, I didn't want to stay on SNL too much because he's done dope things, even since, and is still outside and performing. But I also was curious about that, and he alluded to it a little bit. The week of, or how the weeks are in SNL. 'Cause a bunch of podcasts talk about it, but for people who don't know, like SNL, that week, every week's a brand new week. The show is made up within that week.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think, like Tuesday and on essentially is made up.
Right.
I think maybe like the person doesn't even get there until Tuesday, or you read it on Tuesday or Wednesday, Tuesday night. Like it's crazy. It's really made in like 3 days. It's crazy.
Right. They're saying, I don't know what the exact saying is, but essentially it's something along the lines of like, we're not doing the show because we're ready. We're not doing the show because we have the funniest stuff. We're doing the show because it's Saturday night.
It's
like that's their like we didn't promise that this was going to be incredible. This is what we do. We make a show in a week, and that's why sometimes I like SNL. Yeah, every sketch that I watch, am I like, wow, these are all bangers? No, but people are like, well, there's a lot funnier stuff like on TikTok. It's like, yeah, stuff that people like sat and edited and thought about and like thought about the algorithm and all this. These people are just like coming up with this on the spot.
This is a hot take. I still enjoy SNL like 75%.
Bro, Weekend Update almost always hits. Michael Che and Colin Jost are phenomenal.
They don't miss at all. Even when they get like Sarah Squirm or like Boy Yang to come, that's hilarious.
Right.
But I still thoroughly enjoy SNL. People don't like it, and I typically have to watch it the next day because of comedy or whatever.
Right.
But
for sure, it's great,
and it comes out so much earlier in LA time.
Yeah, it is funny. It's 8:30, so like, yeah, it's kind of funny. It's if you don't like staying up late. Should we get to your ism for the week? Your life lessons with Deacon Dan?
Yeah, my ism was the same as a mental health update. Just cherish the moments, bro. Cherish the moments you have with people, and don't overthink.
Yeah,
what this has to be.
What moment do you cherish the most that you've had with me?
Ooh,
okay, that's a deep sigh. That was a deep sigh.
No, honestly, I mean, I would say maybe like when I first ran my half hour, I think that was a cool moment. I know you had to bounce, but it was,
My favorite moment was when you had to leave early and all your friends stayed.
Yeah, exactly.
So your wife was there, all your best friends, but you left, and I really appreciated that.
But that was a good moment.
I really liked the way you left.
That was a good memory. Because honestly,
that was awesome. That was cool.
When we're in it, we're doing this, we forget how like impactful these things will be 3, 4, 5 years from now. I remember that I was there when Danny ran his half hour. I was there when Sam did this. Or I was there when we first started our podcast, and whether this podcast is humongous or we stop it. But it's like, I remember we used to have a podcast and that was really good. We got a bunch of good guests type shit. Like, so I don't know. I think we get so caught up in this person has to be this.
Yeah.
Like Luke was talking about people trying to venue trying to introduce them to other people. It's like so often as humans, we try to look at what this person is and figure out the next thing that person can be for me or bring me versus like, bruh,
Right.
I'm enjoying this hour and a half I have with you.
Right.
And everything else that happens after this hour and a half, so be it.
Yeah. Amen, brother.
Shout out to, if I don't know if once this comes out, I don't know if I'll have announced it or not, but your boy's shooting a special this summer.
Sheesh.
So
He's about it.
it's going to be fire. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Stay on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
As always, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, share with a friend. If y'all thought like, hey, this was funny, you might think of someone who might like this.
Please.
Give him a little texty text. Give him a little DM. We love you guys.
Hot stories. You want to talk about Hollywood's deepest, darkest secrets? Listen to and watch Callbacks at the same time.
Raw, unfiltered
Hollywood stories, drugs, rock and roll.
It's so not problematic that you can't even think of the problematic things
Yeah.
to say. You're like stuttering. You're like, it has
Drama.
We had one beer each.
Yeah, we're slightly buzzed under the illegal limit, but
That's wild. Follow him at Follow Sellers.
Yeah.
Follow me at Samuel Sleeves.
you know,
We love you. Get home safe.
Mm.